What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Ride the Pine. I am Sean Sproat. That is Cameron May and Kenny Hutton. No Adam Freeman tonight. He couldn't make it. The last text I got from him was something about that he doesn't have cell service. So I'm just assuming that he's either in the middle of nowhere or he's in a holding cell somewhere for something that he did. Can neither confirm nor deny which one it is. So, three-man crew, trio tonight. We're going to talk hockey. Let's do that hockey.
So. That is such a hyper niche.
it really is.
Reference.
Chance the Rapper with Ryan O'Reilly. Absolutely.
Yep, 100%. You can find references like that and more. Where, Cameron?
You can find us on whatever social you want to follow us on at PodRideThePine. Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok. We're on them all, baby.
We haven't done much with the TikTok yet. I'm going to. Hopefully.
We are.
Got a real
our intern's going
on
to
Twitter X.
You got to make sure that the olds know where to find it. I think our listening demographic may skew a little old.
So, where was your beef with the fact that he called it X or he called it Twitter?
No, he called it X. No, we're not going to call it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
No, and then you got to send some Zeets. Is that what they're calling it? Is that Zoomers? Do you want to get in here and tell me if I'm right or wrong?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what that was. Someday, I can never tell if you're like an old soul and you're too old for us, or if you're just too young. I'm leaning towards the latter. It changes per minute with you.
Well, you guys got me by what, 6-7 years?
Shut up.
Kenny, round
yes,
one.
Sir.
Break it down.
All right, round one of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The best playoff action in all of sports. Shittiest bracket, though. So let's see here. In our first, so we've already got 5 matchups decided. So I'm just going to burn through these real quick. Florida beats Tampa 4-1. The Rangers sweep the Capitals. Carolina also beats the Islanders 4-1. And so the East is pretty much done. Right now, we currently have Boston leading the series 3-2. Game 6 is currently on. So you'll probably know the outcome of this once this happens, but Toronto is currently leading 1-0 midway through the third, 15 minutes left. On the Western, all quiet on the Western front tonight, by the way, boys. The Colorado Avalanche take care of the Winnipeg Jets 4-1. The Edmonton Oilers also take care of the Los Angeles Kings 4-1. 2 open series still. Dallas pulls ahead of the Vegas Golden Knights for a 3-2 lead.
Love to see that.
Currently, the Vancouver Canucks have a 3-2 lead on the Nashville Predators. So that is how it's shaping out. Thanks to the Capitals for not putting up any kind of fight and losing me my parlay real quick. I've won all the other rounds, but thank you, Capitals.
Thank you, Rangers, because I have you in the final, so keep it up.
I mean, the Rangers just played them off the ice essentially every game.
I thought it was funny. So when you looked at the breakdown, because of how crummy the NHL like tiebreakers are, Detroit had the same amount of points. And they should have played in the playoffs, but the Capitals beat them on a tiebreaker, or I don't know exactly what they beat them on.
They beat them on a tiebreaker because Philly pulled their goalie.
Okay, that's what it was.
They didn't realize that they were already eliminated, so pulled their goalie in a tied game to try and get the win, thinking that it mattered, and gave up the empty net goal. Detroit got absolutely boned.
Detroit, I believe, was my pick to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but hey.
Pulling up the standings real quick. I know we're going to talk about the matchups and everything in the playoffs, but the Capitals and the Red Wings, just like you guys said, had 91 points apiece. Just for reference, the Detroit Red Wings were a +4 goal differential. The Washington Capitals were a -37.
Wow.
Jeez. Doesn't even seem possible.
Wow. I don't know how that's possible.
So is goal differential what, like the 5th tiebreaker then? Because it seems like they're gonna have to bump that up.
Well, they
Moving
clearly
up the
didn't get
list.
to it because Detroit would have been in the playoffs. I think Detroit would have given the Rangers a run for their money. I still think the Rangers would have won that series, but it would have been better than a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, I think Washington's in total disarray. Like, I don't even think they wanted to make the playoffs with the way they were playing. Ovechkin was called out by his coach, I believe, twice.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you've never heard a coach like throw Ovi under the bus like that. And you're just like, wow, what is going on there? Like, I think that team is probably due for a dismantling.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting up there in age. How old is Ovi? Is he in his 40s now? Is he pushing 40?
Ooh,
He clearly does not have the movement that he used to. Oshie's been hurt. He's been dealing with a back issue, I believe.
He played
So
the entire series with a broken hand as well.
correct, right? So
Ovi's 38.
he's 38. Okay, so he's just out there for records. He's not out there for really anything else. Yeah, it's time to dismantle them. And luckily in hockey, you can come back in what 2-3 years if you do it right. Look at So it's they'll be back. Will they be as good as they were with Ovi years? No, definitely not.
I mean, you're talking about losing a generational player, and like we might be getting out in front of our skis here, but like either the coach is getting fired and Ovi's sticking around, or something's gonna give and Ovi's gone. Like, because you can't have a coach call out a superstar like that.
I hope he doesn't leave. I don't like to see like the superstars at the end of their career go to some other random team. That happens all the time, like Favre with the Jets and like just stuff like that. I just don't like to see it. Stay your entire career with that team.
On the flip side, if he gets to come back, if he only signs, a 1 or 2 year deal, comes back and does a swan song a la Albert Pujols,
Right.
coming back and hitting his last home runs in a Cardinal uniform just felt right. So if
It did.
Ovi does get dealt, ends up coming back and breaking the record, and if he gets to that point in a Capitals jersey, it would still feel right.
So, just kind of bouncing off you guys, any of the other matchups that are complete get any interest from you guys?
I thought that the fact that the Islanders lost in 5 is a story because I thought they were going to be significantly more competitive than that. Even though I did have Carolina winning the series, I think Carolina is one of the best teams, coming out of the East. I thought they were going to put up more of a fight. They really didn't. Going across to the West, Edmonton winning in 5 against the Kings is surprising because I just expect Edmonton to blow it. I thought the Kings were going to win that series. Egg on my face.
I don't think the Kings were ever going to win that series. I think the Oilers probably blow it in the next round. Dude, don't doubt Carolina. Carolina is a wagon. Like
They are.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I had it and then I lost it. Yep. Shucker and Shuckertash. Him and Martin Nietzsche's dude, the young talent on that team is incredible. Like, they're fun to watch. And like the zero fucks like their social media team gives too is just wonderful. Wonderful.
I mean, part of what makes the Canes fun to watch also is, their home crowd is, you can definitely hear the pop. Like loud stadium pops even translates across TV. It seems like just an awesome environment to watch a game. I know people are putting videos up on social of them coming back and scoring those 2 goals like back to back. They were just trying to get how loud it was, got that second goal and just obliterated the phone speaker. I have nothing against the Canes. I was also impressed by the Panthers, kind of just ending the Lightning's reign. It seems like I know we've all been here before with them of thinking that this is finally it, the run's over, but I think this really showed how far down they actually are now.
We were talking about Ovi potentially going somewhere else. I think it's more interesting to find out if Stamkos is going to go somewhere else.
I mean, he sure as shit hung around after that end of that game and stood there and like was reflective. Now, let's see here. He would be only 34. I don't think he's going anywhere, but man, that felt like a moment of a guy who knew he played his last game in that uniform.
Yeah.
Which again kind of is a sad moment. For a team like the Lightning. You know, we can say all we want, but that is to lose Stamkos is to lose your identity, I think.
Yeah.
He's been on that top line for a long time.
I mean, so I watched Steven Stamkos play when he was like 10. And scouts were watching him at that age. Like, I remember people saying this kid's going to lift the Stanley Cup. He is the generational talent of this kind of like age group, like this 30 to 34 range, whereas you got like Ovi and Crosby in that range. And I don't think he gets the credit he deserves because he gets overshadowed by McDavid and McKinnon.
No love for Matthews.
No. I mean, that's not to say anything about Matthews, but like, actually, you know what? Let's say something about Austin Matthews. Austin Matthews crying on the bench was unbecoming of a hockey player. Like, come on, dude. Andy's 26. So you're talking about an 8-year difference. So like you're talking about basically, you know, different classes of athletes. But we can circle back to what I thought about Matthews on the bench. So yeah, I was actually trying to find Stamkos's contract before you derailed the.
Here, while you're pulling that up, I'll just mention some of his career numbers. He's played in over 1,000 games, 1,082, 555 goals, 582 assists for 1,137 career points. Just in his last 3 years with Tampa Bay, going back the last 3 years, 40 goals, 34 goals, 42 goals, 41 assists, 50 assists, 64 assists. This guy at, what do you say, 33, 34 years old?
34, yep.
He's lighting the lamp at like, that's impressive numbers for a player that age. Like typically in hockey, 27 to 30 is your prime, maybe 31 for some players. I mean, that's any team that gets him. If he does go somewhere else, you are getting a top line center.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, his contract with the Lightning is up. There is no extension in place as of yet. And yeah, man, I mean, at $8.5 million, if you can get him back to like say 7, I think the Blues should take a run at him.
Yeah, we got room.
You got to look at teams that have the cap space, and St. Louis may have the cap space next year. That could be kind of exciting.
I mean, but okay, so let's circle back to the matchup we're watching right now. Austin Matthews, Cameron, always an Austin Matthews defender. Let's speaking about superstars who will probably be going on to their next lives at some point. We can talk about Mitch Marner as well.
Yes.
So defend your boy, man. I mean, just
yeah. I mean, he's a generational goal scorer. I don't know what you want from me here. What did he put up this year? 69.
69 goals. Yep.
That feels appropriate.
Nice.
Feels right.
I mean, I know you like to say, I mean, he has no personality, but I mean, I actually think he does have somewhat of a personality and somewhat of a streetwear, something that gets exposed more so.
Oh no, I'm
NHL.
not. I've never said Austin Matthews doesn't have a personality.
You just hate it.
Yeah, there's that.
Do you hate him because he wears the Toronto Maple Leaf? Because I know you're not a Leaf. You don't like the Leafs.
If he played for the Coyotes, you know, hometown team type thing, would you hate him?
I don't know if I would hate him, and I don't necessarily think I hate him right now. Like, I think so. Those three, the three big ones on the leaves. You've got Matthews, you've got Marner, and you've got Tavares, who take up like 40% of their salary cap. Like, but all of them have $11 million contracts. Like, to me, I get it. Kids, make your money, but with the Leafs being like the Yankees of the NHL, and all the media focus is always on them, you'd think at some point one of these kids would be like, well, no. Here, let me take less so we can go get a top flight defenseman. Like, they're doing everything hockey players typically don't do. And I think that's probably what irritates me. The flashiness of it too, I guess. I mean, but I'm a hypocrite because I'll sit here and be like, Bryce Harper hits a home run and I want to see his hair flow and like he should trot around the bases. So I don't know. I just don't think the effort is there, man. Like, you've been in the playoffs the last how many years in a row with this team, with their core, right? And you have, again, when Tavares was young, 10, he didn't play with Stamkos and Pietrangelo and those kids. He played at the next level up. Like, he was better than all of them. And so far, all of them have raised the Stanley Cup except for him. So what's the problem?
So he missed the last game. He's not playing tonight. He's not playing in game 6. He
Who are we specifically talking about?
Austin Matthews. He's not playing. So they won the last game. Right now they're winning 1-0 in the third period. I know 69 goals. He's an incredible goal scorer in the regular season. But the fact that they were down 3-1, he comes out of lineup and suddenly they're competing and you can tell they are skating faster and that there's more belief. Does that have anything to do with the fact that he's not in the lineup?
I think with a team like this and them being that young, it absolutely could. I mean, you saw it. It went around Twitter with Matthews. I'm not going to say he was crying. I'm not going to give him that. But he's clearly bitching on the bench. And William Nylander, who has thrown his own bitch fit in the past, look up his holdout, like, told him, and you can read his lips clear as day, stop fucking crying. This is not the juniors anymore.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Something's got to give there, right? Like, you have to have a coach who can handle that, or you have to get rid of them because they're all talking about games 1 through 3. Oh, Mitch Marner, I hope you enjoy Salt Lake City. Are you going to do that to Austin Matthews? Because the effort it has been about the same.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I have the Maple Leafs pick to win, so it's double tough for me. Trying to protect my take.
That's still wild to me because even if they somehow miraculously get by Boston and make this comeback in 7 games, they have to go down to Florida and play the Panthers.
But I think if they get that Boston round 1, get Boston out of the way, I think maybe they might start running downhill a little bit. Maybe.
You know, the one knock I said on Toronto was that they did not have the goaltending. And to your credit, Cameron, they've had very good goaltending this series. That's what you need in the playoffs to win. They're getting it. I don't think that they're going to be able to do that against Tkachuk and the rest of that Panthers lineup.
So is that how that will shake out? The winner of this series will play Florida no matter what?
Correct, because the Rangers and Carolina are already set to play in the other matchup in the East.
Okay. I mean, I don't see either of these teams getting past Florida at this point. Like, Boston right now tonight looks a step behind.
They do.
And yeah, Boston's getting a little bit older, but the Panthers are nonstop. Like, they are so fun to watch. And who would have thought? Like, I get it. You get not Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk. But you traded at the time, like, arguably one of the best goal scorers of the year previous in Huberdeau to the Flames, and you somehow got better by trading less point. Like, what did Huberdeau have that year? Like over 100 points. And I think Tkachuk was sitting around 80. Like, you're like, man, what a trade to make. Like, you're trading away arguably your best player. But the dividends of Tkachuk has paid off wonderfully.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
still wish you would have came here.
Well, yeah, but I wish Albert Pujols would have never left Anaheim, or for Anaheim too. Like, sometimes we live in a reality though.
Let's jump over to the West because there's two matchups that I want to talk about. The first needs to be
those are the fun ones.
Yeah, we need to talk about Dallas and Vegas because right now Dallas is leading in that series 3-2, and I think everybody on this podcast, including Adam, had Vegas going through. That's pretty shocking to me. That last game, Dallas dominated that game from start to finish.
Yeah, even on our live stream, I said I believe the Vegas Golden Knights were going to sweep them.
Yes.
Based on some information, yes, obviously they've cheated LTIR, but it is the strategy for most hockey teams is if you're the team who's going to start on the road, you've got to split. And when you go into somebody's house and you take 2 games, and then to go to the environment that Vegas has created, like, you would think that series was over. And the Stars have been resilient. I'll give it up, man. I mean, I think it's a very good contest between Pete DeBoer and Jamie Benn, who I actually hate more in the NHL. Like, who's got the most punchable face? I do think it's Pete DeBoer, but like, they have great goaltending. Like, Vegas just like is one of those teams that they don't stop coming either. Like, they get the puck in the zone and they're going to fire pucks on net. And like, Dallas has done a great job in controlling them the last 3 games.
Dallas also is a goaltender to kind of stand up to that. I mean, Einger's lights out. He's such a good goaltender.
He's had an incredible year.
Absolutely.
He's had an incredible past couple years.
Yeah.
And honestly, since he's not here to defend himself, I'll say it was absolutely extremely foolish that Adam said he thought the Blues could beat the Stars. Boy, there ain't no way that was happening.
Absolutely not. There's no way. I think
as the homer take, I think Bennington could carry us over the line.
Not this year. There's too many pieces missing for the Blues.
So here's what I'll say. I'm going to still stand on business and say I still think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to take the series. I do think they go into Dallas and win Game 6. Dallas has a history of losing Game 6s at home. When you're up 3-2, if anybody's keeping score. So, I guess Vegas will be the home team.
Vegas will be the home team in Game 6.
Still, my point still stands. Dallas has a history of losing Game 6s when they need it. So
I think whoever wins this series wins the West.
The Canucks are pretty good.
Which is the other matchup that I wanted to talk about, Vancouver and Nashville. I watch a lot of hockey. Vancouver is not a team that I watch a lot because by the time their games start, I'm usually in bed. They're showing out. They're a fun team to watch. They're young. Their defensemen are the defensemen are what the Blues thought that they were getting whenever they signed Torrey Krug. They're a fun team to watch. I think I have Vancouver winning that series. They're up 3-2 on Nashville. Yay or nay? Do you think Nashville can make a comeback in that one?
No. I mean, I feel bad. I haven't watched a lot of the series because I thought it was going to be over pretty quick. Yeah, I mean, the little I've been able to watch of Vancouver, because you and I are in the same boat. By the time they kick off at like 9:30 here, you watch one period and you fall asleep. So,
yeah.
I mean, Game 4 was so entertaining in that series. I mean, coming back in Nashville, whole crowd is going crazy. Everyone's chugging beers on the fan cam. Come back, rip their hearts out, tie it up, and then just completely eviscerate them in overtime.
That was okay. So I think that's probably the only game I've actually watched. They hit the post on the empty net, correct?
Yeah.
That's what that was?
Yeah, I believe so.
And I thought with that result, I thought Vancouver was just going to run away with the series, but then Nashville came back the next game in Vancouver and won 2-1.
Kudos to them for that, because I thought it was over.
Yeah. That's just one of those moments that you expect like to take you on a run. And the fact that Nashville, came out with that win, they're still down in the series, but I think this goes 7. Nashville's at home for game 6. I think Nashville wins game 6. Game 7, I think Vancouver takes it.
Yeah, I could see. Being able to come back after that loss, I could definitely see this series going 7. It kind of hurts to say, being a St. Louis fan, we kind of have some not great times with Nashville. Smashville is an awful nickname. You guys need to get rid of it. You need to retire it. It's fucking embarrassing.
The nickname is fine. It's the catfish thing. I don't understand throwing the catfish on the ice. That's weird to me. It feels like you're wanting to be Detroit with the octopus.
Yeah.
Stop doing it, please.
But what else? What else we not touch on here? The Avs absolutely destroying the Jets.
But
6-5, 6-5. Like,
we all knew that was going to happen.
5 goals every game is.
We all knew that was going to happen because Hellebuyck disappears when it comes to the playoffs. We all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, when you got to score 7 goals to beat a team, you're not going to make it very far.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just not going. It's not going to go well for you.
And don't get me wrong, that's probably been my favorite game of the playoffs so far. But there's no way you're going to beat Colorado in a 7-game series whenever you're giving up 6 goals a game.
Colorado scored more runs than the Cardinals have all season in those 5 games.
Do you want to make any bold predictions from here on out? We kind of already said it. Kenny said that Vegas is going to come back and beat Dallas in 7. Cameron, you're still riding with Toronto. Any other ones that you can see?
I think once again we are going to have a Canadian-less team Stanley Cup Finals.
Okay, so no Vancouver, no Edmonton, no Toronto.
No, I think Toronto gets eliminated. Now, I think they're going to win this game and take it to 7, but I see Boston winning at home if this result holds. I don't think Edmonton has the depth. They might make the Western Conference Finals, but who they run into. I think actually the Canucks and the Oilers would match up, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So right there, that's kind of an easy one for me because 2 Canadian teams are going to knock each other out in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So,
if we get a Stars Avs in the next round, that would be spicy,
dude.
That would be great.
That was appointment TV if that happens.
Yes, 100%. I still think there's a chance for a Canadian team to be in the final. I don't think it happens.
Toronto?
No, absolutely not. Toronto's going to lose this series. If they miraculously pull this off, they're not beating Florida. They're going to lose in 5 to Florida. Probably, maybe even 4, especially if Matthews doesn't come back.
Sorry.
I think of the other 2,
this video is
Canadian
getting ripped
teams,
from YouTube so fucking fast for that being on the background.
You can't tell it's there. You can't tell it's there.
I think of the other 2 Canadian teams, I think Vancouver is better than Edmonton. So I will say I could see Vancouver in the final, but if they do, they're going to get run by any of the other teams in the East.
Breaking news: we have a game 7.
Toronto's up 2-0 on Boston with about 2 minutes and some change left. Game 6.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Beautiful play by William Nylander. What an effort. That's the effort you want to see out of Austin Matthews, and you get it out of William Nylander.
So if Austin Matthews comes back for Game 7 and they get blown out, how nuclear are you going on everything I've ever said about Austin Matthews next time we record?
I'm just gonna do the oh man. Yeah, I mean I won't go nuclear on you, but I'll just be like, I told you so, man. Like this is what it is.
You can get all of those takes if you follow him on Twitter at Ken Hutton.
Yes, that is correct. All right, so hold on. Let me look at the schedule for the upcoming games for you guys. All right. So I think we've got the 2 Western Conference games tomorrow. Yes. So tomorrow's docket. Sorry, I put my phone right in the view of the camera. The Canucks go to Nashville looking to close out the series. That game is a 6:00 Central game. It's nice when
love to see it
when a team in your division actually plays at 6. And then the nightcap will be the Dallas Stars heading into Vegas, looking to also close out the series at 9:00 Central.
That's a one period and done for me.
On a Friday?
It's a Friday night.
I'm an old man.
And then, if necessary, it looks like it is necessary. Game 7, 7:00 Central Standard Time. Cameron's Toronto Maple Leafs will go into Boston to take on Patty Maroon and his Boston Bruins.
I think the best part of this being Cameron's Toronto Maple Leafs is I don't fucking like the Maple Leafs. I did a guest appearance on a Healthy Scratch, wanted to ruffle some feathers and picked them. And then you got to stand by your takes. And I'm just locked in. I want them to beat Boston because I hate Boston. But I mean, after this, I'm gonna stand by them just for the takes. But
that's fair.
And I was told one time that I looked like Austin Matthews, so I feel like I have to.
There it is. I was waiting for that. I was going to bring it up if you weren't going to.
Which, honestly, it's probably an insult to me. That dude has a forehead that's the size of Peyton Manning's, and he's in his 20s. He hasn't even had any stem cells injected into the back of his neck, trying to save his career.
I saw something online that was talking about that Toronto Maple Leafs have the most hated fan base in all of NHL.
Yes.
Do we agree with that?
Yeah.
I don't think I agree with that.
Who do you think's hated more?
Boston.
And that might just be part of a St. Louis thing now.
I don't know. Like, all of the East hates them. The tri-state area hates them.
I mean, I don't think Boston fans in general are well-liked people.
I don't think Boston is well-liked as a place.
The mass hole attitude is definitely real.
Yes.
I would say, to me, if it's not the Leafs fans, because part of my problem with them too is like they're like the Yankees, and that, like, my freshman year roommate grew up in a little town in Southwest Missouri. He's like, I'm a Yankees fan. I'm like, dude. I'm like, well, you like the Maple Leafs too? Like,
how are the Maple Leafs like the Canadians? I know we've gone down this road before. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Maple Leafs like the Yankees. I don't understand that. What I was gonna say that it kind of blended together is, aren't the Canadians like the Yankees of hockey?
Well, I mean, as far as the championships go, but like when it comes to like the biggest media market in hockey is Toronto. The league is based there. The Hall of Fame is there. Like, the league is operated in Toronto. It's arguably the second most historic franchise. Oh, and by the way, they are on a record cold streak of 57 years since they won a Stanley Cup.
Right.
So, like, you got all that, the major media market. And in Canada, when you play for the Leafs, you're treated at a different level right now. Like, I'm sure if the Canadians turned it around and started winning Stanley Cups like they were again, 100 years ago, when there was only 6 teams in the league, yeah, I'm sure maybe we could argue Montreal would be it, but I definitely think it's Toronto.
Okay. I mean, no one hates the Canucks. I don't think anyone hates the Oilers either.
I mean, but to me, I think it's the Vegas Golden Knight fans.
I hate the organization of the Vegas Golden Knights. I don't hate their fans because I don't believe that their fans actually exist. I think their fans are tourists.
Oh, no, I've met a couple of them, and they are delusional people.
And I bet they don't live within 1,000 miles of that fucking stadium.
Well, the one guy does work for Boeing. He's got like
so he'll be taken care of soon.
Yeah.
He better not step out of line. It's a dangerous game.
That's funny.
2 for 2.
That's real funny.
All right. Anything else about the NHL playoffs? Did we want to talk about? By the way, did we want to talk about anything else? Do we want to talk about like Deion Sanders or anything, or and the nonsense that he's spewing on Twitter?
You know what, man? I thought about saying something, but I think we'd be better off just saying he's sticking his ugly foot in his mouth right now.
The only thing I got is the only thing more fucked up than what he's doing is his foot.
Actually, you know what? I will say this too. When it comes to Colorado and it comes to Colorado football, I don't know what people are smoking. Like, I want to know what kind of drugs. I read a 2025 early mock on CBS Sports by a guy named Ryan Wilson. And I want to know who this guy is because he had, how do you say the kid's name?
Sanders.
Yeah, okay, thanks. They had him going number 1, and they had Travis Hunter going number 2.
That's a take.
Like, seriously? If you look at his stats from last year, Sanders' stats, and he gets all this praise, not as good as Brady Cook. And they're talking about Brady Cook not even getting drafted. He's gonna go work at Sugar Fire with his daddy. Like,
and go to Emos.
Which is fine. I mean, go run a Sugar Fire, and yeah, that's fine. But I don't understand the hypocrisy. Like, he's not that good of a player. He's okay. He's not a top 5 draft pick.
But he points at his Rolex when he does something cool.
The memes coming out of him, like Colorado down 49-0, score 6, and he's pointing at just like people pointing at Rolexes. Like,
It's the Mike Trout playing in Anaheim comparison all over again. Like, and Mike Trout hit 4 home runs as the Angels lost 11-4. T's and P's for Mike Trout. That is absolutely brutal and sucks for baseball.
It does. Yeah. It does. All right, let's call it. Let us know online who you guys have winning the Stanley Cup playoffs, any matchups that you're looking forward to.
At Pod Ride the Pine on everything for those takes.
Cool. Perfect.
And if you haven't started, watch Fallout. I'm in, guys.
I still need to watch that. I still need to.
I've not gotten around to that one. I didn't get into Shogun either. I feel like I'm too far behind now.
I started Shogun. I watched the first episode. It's good, but I need to continue it. I'm stuck on X-Men 97 right now, and I can't focus on anything else until that's done.
I'm watching Eastbound and Down for like the 5th time, so I really have no excuse.
There you go. Can't watch Asian Game of Thrones, but you can watch Eastbound and Down for the umpteenth time. That's what I heard somebody call that. I laughed at that.
All right, we're getting out of here. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye.
Listen, I'll get you your prize eventually.